I'm Jared Lintner, Tackle Warehouse Pro, and today we're out on the lake and swimming a jig. I kind of learned about it my rookie season back on the tour. Everybody seemed to be throwing it, and I had really no idea what guys were talking about. So I had a couple friends back there show me kind of how to work it and what to do and everything, and then from there I've been throwing it so much. I've kind of learned, a lot more about things to do and things not to do, and where and how to fish it. And basically it's a real versatile bait. I mean, you can fish this thing in any structure that's available on any lake that you're fishing. Here we're fishing it through this dead grass. We're in a pre-spawn time of the year, and there's lots of fish pushing to the bank. There's pretty big fish cruising around in this dead vegetation. Basically what you're doing is I mean, there's a lot of colors available, shads and crawfish colors, but I've done way better on mainly the there's one right there. God, just jerked it out of my hand. That was a good one. There you go. It's perfect. Again, like I was saying before I was rudely interrupted, I've done way better on bluegill colors. That right there is basically like I think they call it a swamp frog. There's a little chartreuse, little green pumpkin. I got a little chigger craw in there as a trailer, chartreuse dyed tips. And let her go. That fish just came right on the edge of this vegetation, But basically what I'm doing is casting it out on whatever covers there, and keeping my rod at about a 10 o'clock position and just popping the rod tip. And basically what that's doing is it's just acting like a like bait fish or a bluegill or a crawfish kind of scurrying away. And it's a unique presentation that, well, for me in California, I fished here for 20-something years, and I never even heard about this. And so it's just really, you can cover a lot of water and show the fish a totally different bait that they've never really seen on your local bodies of water. I know it's really popular. You get around the Mississippi River, and a lot of people are swimming jigs down in Alabama. But in different parts of the country, man, you catch a lot of fish, and you catch some big ones too. The rod that I like throwing it on, this here is a 734 Powell, and it's basically like a medium heavy. Throwing on a 6.4 Revo Premier, and this here is a 50-pound spider wire ultra cast. And the reason I like spider wire is just because on long casts and stuff, you're going to get better hook sets, and you can really free that line once it gets in the grass or around some logs and stuff, but it just really keeps you in good contact with the bait. And the fish, I've fished in super clear water, and to me the fish don't pick up on the line, especially when you're fishing around vegetation or trees or brush piles. All that structure is breaking up the line. So I mean, I used to mark the line so it disappears every 6-8 inches, whatever. But I've had the same success just fishing it as it is. And again, I've caught them on shad, I've caught them on, crawfish colors, and just kind of let the time of year dictate, what your color choice is. Like I said, pre-spawn, fish want a big meal, and a bluegill is real high in protein, and I mean, it's a perfect snack for a fish that's waiting to move up and spawn. In the summertime, seems like the shad colors work really well, and then a lake, with some real dingy water. I've even caught them on black and blue, black and reds, black and purples. I mean, it's a never-ending list of things you can fish. It seems like the craw type trailers earlier in the year, I have better success. And then once the water temp gets warm, post spawn, oh, there was a big one. Did you see that? Oh my God. That time of year, when the water temp gets warm, like a single tail grub seems to be, you know, way better than the twin tails. Catch that one. God. You know, a lot of times too, you got to play around with the retrieve. You know, if you're fishing vegetation, say like you're going over a mat and you got some open holes, just kind of let that thing fall down in there, and a lot of times they'll eat it on the descent. You know, the sizes on these things are you know, pretty much anywhere from an 1/8 up to a 1/2 ounce is what I normally swim. This here is a swim jig made by Omega. There's several other ones that are, you know, that are just as good. What you're looking for is a nice, I like a fine wire hook, just because on those long casts, you know, you want something that's going to penetrate the fish's mouth. And a lot of times, you know, you won't feel like a jarring bite. You'll just kind of feel pressure like it's on grass. And you know, that little hook in there, this has a 4/0 light wire hook, and you know, I've caught some big ones on it without the hooks pulling loose. So, but again, a lot of that is made possible by fishing the right rod and reel combination. You know, if you have too stiff of a rod, you can't make that bait dart around and pop as good without a nice soft tip on it. You know, it's pretty much an endless type of bait as far as fishability of it. You know, I've caught them off of docks, I've caught them in vegetation, wood, down chunk rock banks. I mean, it's something that I wish I would have known years ago. I would have probably made some more money rather than fishing behind guys throwing the same baits, you know, especially when you're on smaller local lakes and things like that. You know, everybody gets onto the bite, and pretty soon, you know, you're spreading those aggressive fish out, and they, you know, they get used to it. They kind of get conditioned to what's going on. So a little something different sometimes will pay off. In closing, I just want to emphasize that, you know, the swim jig possibilities are endless, and I feel like, you know, I mean, for a guy like me that's fished forever and just started playing around with this technique for the last couple of years, you know, I'm still learning new things every day. And I'm sure for those of you that haven't necessarily done this type of technique, give it a try, you know, and just fish it, and let, you know, kind of let the fish tell you how to fish it, and take these little tips, put them into use, and you'll catch more fish. Off the point, calling it. Huh? There's one. Yep.
Get down, Zach.
It's a little pre-spawn male. I mean, look at how far they, I mean, you just engulfed it. Oh, there's a good one. He waked it before he ate it. He's just not a little male. I thought he was a giant. All like grass. He came up behind it and waked it for about 3 foot before he ate it.